Well, hello. Thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail. And as you can see, we're in the castle. We're actually in the cellar, which is the visitor centre. And it says there, "Welcome to Cave Hill." And you can see a wee picture there of the castle. And there's also a window there. It actually looks like a church window. So it does, as you can see. And so this is the cellar, but it's also the information centre. And you can see there as time goes by. And so the first settlers on Cave Hill during the Stone Age, and then a Bronze Age. It says spearheads, arrowheads and jewellery have been discovered on the hill together with remains of settlements. And so there you are. There's some of the game. Some of the wild animals. Wild boar. And there's, in early Christian times, hill settlers construct crannogs and rafts or ring forts, the remains of which can still be seen today on Cave Hill. And then there's the United Irishmen, who I talked about earlier. Wolfetown and his fellow United Irishmen met on the summit of Cave Hill, where they take a solemn obligation never to desist in their efforts till they had subverted the authority of England over their country and asserted her independence. And that's 1795. And of course, as I said in another wee video, that Henry Joy McCracken was actually, he was captured on Cave Hill after the Battle of Antrim. And so it goes through the history there. Belfast Castle is built by the third Marquis of Donegal on the slopes of Cave Hill in the family estate known as the Deer Park. But there's no deer here now. they're all gone. And so there you are. That's the 9th Earl of Shaftesbury. He becomes Lord Mayor of Belfast. And then there's one there, 1916, the time of the war, First World War. The North Belfast Ulster Volunteers parade through the grounds of Belfast Castle before joining the 36th Ulster Division at the Somme. And so there you are. And of course the Battle of the Somme commenced on the 1st of July, and some people think it was only one day, but it lasted away after Christmas actually. So it did. It just wasn't a one-day affair, and I think that's Carson there, I think it is. It is indeed. You can see Sir Edward Carson there. I think that's who that is in the middle there, inspecting the troops, as you can see. So there you are. And then there's other wee bits. There's the Shaftesbury's. The Shaftesbury's present Belfast Castle and the estate to Belfast. So there you are. And that's a good wee picture there actually of the castle, and also then Cave Hill in the background. The summit there of Cave Hill. And there's during the Blitz of the Second World War, many families take refuge on the slopes of Cave Hill. That's 1940. So there you are. So we're going to have a wee look, will we, at the information centre. And of course this was the cellar, as you can see. So pretty amazing. Pretty good, and loads of information here. So you can walk through it as quick as you want or as slow as you want. And sometimes when I go to museums and stuff, it takes me ages reading the information. But it won't take me ages today, so don't be panicking. And there's the first Marquis of Marcus, I think it is actually. I call it Marquis, but I think it's Marcus actually, the way you pronounce it. Of Donegal, 1739 to 1799. And so that's him. And then just down below him, you have the second Marquis of Donegal, which is 1769 to 1844. And that was him who was in the big painting, if you remember, upstairs in the other video. And so there you are. And then I'm going to read this out to you. It says, in 1603, extensive lands at Belfast were granted by King James I to Arthur Chichester, born of Belfast, and later Earl of Donegal. The 5th Earl of Donegal became the first Marquis in 1791, When the third Marquis succeeded to the title in 1844, he inherited huge debts. Abandoning his estate at Ormeau, he embarked on a new venture of building Belfast Castle. When he struggled for money to finish his new house, his son-in-law, Lord Ashley, whose family home was Fisherwick in England, came to the rescue. That's probably why we have then Fisherwick Park and Fisherwick Presbyterian Church, I would assume. Lord Ashley and his wife, Lady Harriet, daughter of the Marquis, inherited when the third Marquis died in 1884. And then Lord Ashley, son of the crusading Shaftesbury's, responsible for factory reform, subsequently became 8th Earl of Shaftesbury, so beginning the family's association with Belfast that was to last 50 years. So there you are. And this is a wee room here I'm going to show you. And those doors are metal, and boy, they are hard to open. As you can see, this is like, well, I'm not sure what they would have used this wee part here for. It's part of the cellar, so you would assume there would have been wine in here as well. But I'm not sure. Hello, how you doing? And so plenty of boards here, you can have a good read. And again, there's some of the RAS that's on Cave Hill. As you can see, wee models of them. And here's some artifacts here. That's the plane that crashed on the hill, the Boeing's B-17 bomber. And then there's artifacts here. This here's actually part of the remains of that. It says here, remains of the ball turret, the location for a gunner with 2 machine guns in enemy skies. There's other things there as well. That's around there, number 4 for a machine gun. So it's actually it's a complete 50-inch shell for M2 Browning machine gun. And it's free from the explosives, so don't be worrying it'll not be going off on us. So there you are. And I don't know what this machine here is. I haven't a clue. But it's certainly a brute, isn't it? Whatever it's for. Maybe somebody can enlighten me, but I haven't a clue. If my good friend Tom McLean's watching, he'll probably know what that's for. And so there you are. And that's the cellar then. And so now I'm going to take you just a wee quick walk outside to the garden that I showed you in another wee video. If you remember, I showed you the garden and the fountain when we were on the first floor. And so I'm going to take you out there just now. So there it is. This is the garden. And the fountain. And there you can see we're outside the castle. And that's the window there we were looking out at the fountain. In the big dining room, or great hall. Pretty amazing, isn't it? And again, that's the fountain. There's the Cave Hill, where the United Irishmen were hiding out, and also where they planned the 1798 rebellion. Pretty amazing. You can see over Belfast. Again, there's the crane, Arndon Wolf, the yellow structure. And the staircase there is fantastic, isn't it? Excellent. And you get a good view here as well. can see. I'll just zoom in and let you see that a wee bit clearer. So thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail. And again, if you enjoyed the channel, please like and subscribe. God bless.